If you, as an African, you hate your skin color, you hate your hair, or you see another African as an enemy or as someone who's inferior, then you are the proof that slavery is no longer physical, but now mental, emotional, and spiritual. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Black African. So if you are an African, sit and enjoy the show and get a paper and pen, because I did all my research and I'm going to present you all my research. So sit down and enjoy the show, because we're going to do something here. We're going to unlearn and relearn. And in case you don't know who I am, my name is Ada, and I make those videos to brainwash you, to make you believe that you are God. This video is divided in 7 parts. I'm going to start by talking about what the oppression, the effects of slavery and colonization did to us Africans. Talk about the representation, television, media, religion. So religious people come and attack me. I'm ready for it if you come. And I'm going to talk about our story and why was our story removed or erased from us. And then I'm going to talk about melanin, the power of melanin, the power of this right here, this. Then I'm going to talk about our belief system. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about DNA. Yes, the power of DNA. But before I jump into the research that I did, because I did my own research, so please do not listen to me. You can ignore me. You can ignore this information. However, do your own research. And before I start, I want to read a quote to my dear Africans by Dr. John Henrik Clarke. The quote says, African people can have a golden age or another age of continued despair, depending on how they view themselves in relationship to the totality of history and his ironies. The cruelest thing slavery and colonialism did to Africans was to destroy the memory of what they were before foreign contact. Now let's start with the process of slavery, right? Colonization. Slavery was an inhuman process. Let me say it to start off. Because what slavery did to us Africans was to detach us from our naturality, from our origins, from our ways of living, ways of thinking, or ways of being. Because African story didn't start after or before slavery. Do you know why? Because before any foreign came to our continent or to our countries, we already had a story. We already had our ways of living, our ways of dressing, our ways of talking. We already had our own name, our own languages. So our story didn't start after slavery. And when somebody slave you, when somebody is coming to oppress you, which is what the slaver's master did, then what they're going to do is they're going to remove your story, your principles, your values. They're going to make you forget what you were before they come into your country. And once they make you forget that, they're going to implement into your mind or into your life what they want you to be. Because if somebody wants to oppress you, the person has to destroy your story. The person has to make you feel and see inferior. The person has to take your power away from you. The person has to make you feel and make you see that you are inferior, that you can do nothing, that you are dumb, that you are stupid. So you're going to see that, okay, this is what I've been telling my whole life, and this is the person who's oppressing me, so he's right. But deep down, they were never ever right. Because when somebody wants to oppress you, the person is going to remove your story, your language, your principles, your values as a human being. And then he's going to give you his stories, his values, his language, his principles of living after removing the ones you had before he coming in contact with our continent. Because if you know who you were, because if you don't know who you were, you don't know how far you can go. So if your oppressor already erased from your memory, erased from you who you were, he's going to be the one telling you what you can do or what you cannot do, who you can become or who you cannot become. So you all see how deep the process of colonization and slavery was and how damaging it was psychologically for Africans. For us, I continue. And then the second step, somebody to oppress you is remove you, as I said earlier, remove you from your language, remove you from your values as a person, remove you from your principles, remove you from anything that doesn't beneficiate the oppressor. Because if you have something that is against the oppressor is not going to like that. So if somebody wants to oppress you, that person has to make sure he can make you feel and can make you see as the weakest as you can. Because if you are strong, if you know who you are and you stand up for yourself and you have the power, the oppressor will not have no power over you. But the oppressor didn't want us to stay strong and to claim and to believe and to behave as the powerful beings that we are. So what they did, they came and removed, they took all of that away from us. That way, once they remove all of those things away from you, that leaves you a psychological and mental part that's going to make you behave, act, and think in a way that doesn't beneficiate you, but that only beneficiate the oppressor or the person who oppresses you. I continue. Because once somebody oppresses you, whatever you are going to do is going to be beneficiating the oppressor. It has to be to fulfill the interests of the oppressor and not your own interests and not your own way of being. Whatever you are going to do has to be to glorify the person who oppresses you. Yes. And that is and it's powerful because that whole process goes to your mind. Right? Goes to your mental, to your psychic. And your psychological part will only be functioning in accordance to what the oppressor wants you to be, who the oppressor wants you to be. Because if you have any thought or any behavior that doesn't beneficiate your oppressor is going to make sure he removes those thoughts, he removes those ideas, he removes those beliefs from you. So the process of he slaving you, of he oppressing you can be easier, which is exactly what they did. I continue. That was the process of slavery and colonization. Now let's continue. The second thing we're going to talk about is representation. Representation is extremely important. Do you know why? Because if you see your race or the people who look like you being represented in a certain type of way, you are going to believe that that's the only way you can aim for, and that's you, and that's the only thing you can do in life. And representation is important because if I ask you, who are the people who are being represented as the one that are the strongest, the brightest, the healthiest, the one with the best job, the one with the most beauty, the beauty standards, the one with most money, the one with most intelligence, the one that live the best? Who? Certainly not people from my skin color. Even though that nowadays is changing, but no. Let's go back to from years in years, what would television, media, radios, music promoting? It was promoting everything that elevate other races, not this race, because definitely the representation, if they ever put us represented, it's going to be in an awful and negative manner. If any black person was represented in the movies or in the shows or in cartoons or in the radio, it's going to be in the most negative, in the most painful, in the most ignorant, and in the most low, in the low phrase. And once kids grow up seeing themselves not being represented or being represented in the wrong way, they're going to believe that, oh, okay, so that means that I'm not good enough. That means that I'm not powerful. That means that my race is not powerful enough. Why? Because the kid doesn't see his race, doesn't see somebody who look like him being represented. So I'm going to say it again. Representation is important. But more important, it is the right and correct representation of each individual. I'm going to ask you again. When on TV, radios, movies, books, what is the correct way of living? Not the way of Africans, the correct way of eating, not the correct way of Africans, because if you eat with your with your fingers is disgusting, is dirty. You have to eat, with a fork and a knife. However, eating with fingers, which I do whenever I want and can, is part of Africans. But no, doing that seems disgusting. So I have to eat with, with spoon, with a knife. Because why? Because that's what another people have been portraying that as the correct way of eating, or as the most powerful way of eating, which is not correct. Do you know why? Because our whole world cannot be around one specific race. Because if not, where is the diversity? Where is it? If we only have to follow what a certain race is saying, or what a certain race is praising. I continue. And by the way, don't listen to me. Do your own research. We continue with representation and why representation is important. And whoever is out here thinking that representation is not important, let me tell you something. It is important. Do you know why? Because images control and affect self-esteem. That's why we have always and we still need to represent Black people as with positive, meaningful, powerful images. Because if, as I said earlier, if you don't see people who look like you be represented in the most beautiful, positive, powerful way, you will think that you cannot be powerful, you cannot be positive. Why? Because the images you are seeing from people who look like you are awful, devastating, stupid, dirty, and negative images. So representation is important. And let's go back, right? Who in back then, even now, it's still happening. Who do they represent? Are the one that has the best job, the best houses, the best car, the best countries, the best continent, the best way of living, even the beauty standards. The beauty standard, what? You have to have blue eyes, green eyes. You have to have a flat hair. You have to have a Barbie. You have to be a Barbie, because you're not like that. Back then, the Barbie used to be the representations of female beauty, which means that if I don't have a body as a Barbie, I'm not good enough. Are you all getting where do I want to get with all of this point? Let's keep going. And also with the Barbie, so if I don't look like a Barbie, if I don't have blue eyes and green eyes, if I don't have flat hair, it means that something is wrong with my hair, something is wrong with my eyes, something is wrong with my skin. Those are things and symptoms that can be created based on how people are represented massively and consistently. Because as I say, images control self-esteem and affect someone's self-esteem. And for my representation, that can create impostor syndrome. Because a Black child, a Black queen, a Black king can grow up believing and thinking and feeling that, no, Black people are not represented good. Black people are only doing the dirty jobs. Oh no, they say they're slave. Oh no, they say they're dumb. So does that mean I'm going to be dumb too? Does that mean I'm not good enough? Does that mean I can't achieve anything? All of those things come from where? Psychologically, because when you see something consistently of your race, that's what you're going to believe. And the imposter syndrome, what's going to make you feel that you're gonna have, as a Black kid or Black queen or Black king or Black queen, black is beautiful. Mwah. As a Black queen or Black king, you're gonna believe that, oh no, so you're gonna have self-doubt. You're going to think that you are not good enough. You're going to think that you cannot achieve nothing. You cannot become powerful. You cannot become worthy. Why? Because from years and years and years and years and years, the only thing they have put in your mind is that Black is stupid, Black is dirty, Black is nasty, Black steal, Black cannot succeed, Black cannot do nothing. Do you all see why representation is important and how much work we have to do in unlearning and relearning things? I continue. Now let's go with the another example with the representation. I'm gonna ask you, right? You watching this video as a Black kid. When you were growing up, do you ever saw a Black person be represented as the most, as the highest, as the brightest, as the strongest, as the smartest in any mainstream media? Did you? Even in the school, the books that we read in the school, right? There's history books, which I'm going to talk later on in the video. We continue. Now let's go with religion. Oh, okay. People are going to get mad with it, but I'm going to say what I want to say. And again, don't listen to me. Do your own research. Did you know that religion are man-made and man-created? I didn't say God-made or God created. I said man-made because a man, if you go name all the religions that are around the world, it was created by a man. A man create a religion, and then other people are going to follow. But do you guys think that if one person creates something that a mass is going to follow, that can make that person control the mass? Do you all think about that? Let's keep on going. And also, the different religion, they were created by a man. And they said they praise God. But I'm wondering, God said, love each other. But there is religions that separate one another. Why is that? I don't understand. God didn't say, if you are white, or if you are black, or if you think different than me, or if you don't support what I support, I have to hate you. I have to separate from you. However, how many religions? Let's say somebody is a Christian. No, I don't talk with Muslim because they believe in this and that. Oh, I'm a Muslim. I don't talk with Christian because this and that. Did God create a separation? I don't think so. But is religion creating separation? Answer yourself. And more facts about religion. Do you know that in United States, religion made the double of money than Silicon Valley, and that all the technologies businesses? Do you know that? I'm going to say it again. Technology made the double of the amount of money than Silicon Valley in all the business, technology business. Do you know that? Wow. Was God about money? But religion is making this amount of money? I'm just questioning things. We continue. In Africa, one of the first book a child is going to have is going to be a Bible, right? So the child is going to get the Bible, open the Bible, first thing you see, Maria, white. Jesus, white. Angels, white. Prophets, white. Then what is that going to create in your psychological in your psychology? It's going to create the effect that you're going to think that, oh, hold on, the people who are the highest, the more praised, they don't have my skin color, they don't have my hair. Oh, so something must be wrong with my skin color or with my hair, because the people everybody praise, the one that made the miracle, the most powerful, the most intelligent, the most smart, they don't have my skin color. Do you all see what I'm saying? We continue. And also I wonder why there is not African names in the Bible. I haven't seen an African name in the Bible. Have you guys? If you have, put in the comment. I continue. And then when you see that, oh, yourself, someone like you is not represented as the highest, as the most beautiful, as the smartest, as the people that everybody want to be around with, you're going to think that something is wrong with you. So you all see how deep the roots, how deep the damage, and how much work we have to do to unlearn and relearn things. I keep going. Because, and then that can create a fight. You're going to believe that, oh, since the people who are powerful, the people who are successful, the people who everybody praise, the people who are doing great things and changes in the world don't have my skin color or my hair, it can mean that me, as a black person with my skin color in my hair, I cannot be powerful, I cannot make changes in the world, because the people that are making changes in the world and are powerful, they don't look like me. Do you all see everything that just from analyzing things this can create? I continue. Also, the religion, right? Let's say, for example, Christianity. Christianity, what is the symbol? A cross, right? This is the symbol, right? A cross of Christianity. But I'm like, what does a cross represent? Cross represent death, because cross was used in all Rome to punish the people who were doing wrong things, the people who were sinning. So this represent death. So why should we praise something that represents death? I keep questioning. And then when you see this cross, what do you say? Let's go to a human orgasm, right? Sexual organism. In which way is the vagina represented here? In which way is the female energy represented here? Because the only thing I'm seeing here is the male energy, because if I remove this and this, this is what goes in, which is what it can represent the dick of a male. So this only represents a male. So is Christianity patriarchic? I continue. And instead of that, something that at least I follow is this. Let me put it here. If you can see this. This is the difference. This right here represents death and only representing masculine energy. And this was used in all Rome to punish people who were doing wrong things. However, this right here represents life. Do you know why? Because it represents the female. Here, this is the belly of the female. And then this is the uterus and this is the male. So it represents both energy. The positive, the masculine energy and the feminine energy, which both energy create and construct what we call life. Why should we follow something that only praise death or only praise one type of energy? But this is what, and this is what. Don't listen to me. Do your own research. This is the ankh. The ankh represents life. The ankh represents life. But the cross represents death. Don't listen to me. Go do your own research. So I'm gonna let's leave religion for a moment, right? Let's continue with our story. Why was our story removed from us? Because the story that you see in books, for example, when you go, I don't know, high school, college, university, the history books that you're gonna see, what do you see there? Do you see African black history represented? Do you see what black people accomplished and did in history? I bet not. You're only gonna see what other races, right? Other people who don't have my skin color have actually represented. Do you know why? Because history is written by the one who won the battle. I'm gonna say it again. History is won by the people who won the battle. But that doesn't mean that the one who won the battle is because they was the smartest, the strongest, was the most powerful beings. I continue. In our story, we forgot it. Black people or Africans, we have forgot our story, because if we can do the effort, or if we will remember how powerful we are, how great, how worthy, the amount of things, the amount of greatness that is on us due to our ancestors, the story would have been way different. And the story that we see in nowadays in books, the most famous book about story, or the one that is in most schools, is the story that only praise one race. Definitely not this one. I continue. And then, because I said, the people who wrote the story is the one that won. Because if I'm dead, I cannot write the story. But if you are alive and you are the one who killed me, you're going to write the story. And you're going to write the story talking about how great you are, how powerful you are, how amazing you are. You will not talk about how good I am, how great I am, how powerful I am, or how much intelligence, or how much technology, or how much activism I did. No, because you have to create a book that talk about the amazing and powerful things that you did. Because if you create a book that's going to talk about the awful and painful and devastated things you did, you're going to lose credibility, and people are not going to believe you. People are not going to support you. So you're going to create a book that definitely going to praise what? You, the oppressor. Don't believe me. Do your own research. We continue. And then when we forget our story, what will you remember? What can you tell about us? What can you tell about story? Because they're going to tell you about, the Queen of England. Okay, how many black, powerful African queens do you know? I'm going to tell you names. But I'm sure the names I'm going to mention right now, you know none of them. Do you know why? I'm not surprised. Because the true story about us, black people, is not being represented as it should. But guess what? I'm here to tell you how powerful and the queens that were in Africa. Amina from Nigeria. Candace from Ethiopia. Makeda from Ethiopia. Nefertiti from Ethiopia. Queen Nandi from South Africa. Queen Moreni from Nigeria. Have you heard about those queens? I bet not. So why don't you ask yourself, who does it beneficiate that us black people don't remember how powerful our ancestors were? Don't you ask yourself those questions? We continue. Remember to subscribe for more videos like this. And then, but since we're talking about story, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to name you amazing inventions done by black people of my skin color that I bet you didn't know. Because what do they say in story? Oh, blacks are dumb. Black didn't create nothing. Black didn't build nothing. Black didn't, oh, no. Only bad things about black people. But right now, I'm going to give you names so you can know how powerful your ancestors were. And if our ancestors were that powerful, it means that we as well are powerful. We as well are, because we have that DNA. So listen to the names I'm going to mention you. Those are black people who created, invented, and thanks to their creation, this world is in a better place. But at your famous storybook, we'll not talk about it. Listen to the names. Before I say the names of great inventors, things that black people of my skin color, people like you created, I'm gonna tell you a fun fact that I forgot to mention. Did you know that religion played a great part in slavery and colonizing Africa? Oh, you didn't know? I'm going to leave a link in the description in where you can see how religion was one of the greatest reasons we were being traded and being forget and being forced to erase who we are, forget our origin, forget our own ways of living, of all ways of being. Yeah, religion was used as a weapon to destroy and to control Africans. Oh, you don't believe me? There is a link in the description where you can find the information. Back at it. Let's find about the inventors of black people. If you are surprised or you don't know about those names, don't feel bad. Do you know why? Because definitely beneficiating somebody that you, black, you, African, that you don't know how great people that look like you are or were and still past, present, and future. Let's start. Inventions. Frederick Sinclair Jones. He invented technology for the mobile refrigerator. Ah, you didn't know? And he's black. Ooh, surprise, surprise, surprise. Dr. Shirley Jackson. Fax machine, touch phone, fiber optic cells, solar cells, and technology. You didn't know? Ooh, surprise. Lewis Lastimer. Marie Van Britten Brown. Otis Bookin. Looney G. Johnson, Charles Drew, Marian R. Krug, Lisa G. Glubel, sorry if I'm not saying the names correctly, my apologize, Philip Emengwali, Gis Ernest Viewkings. Oh, and there is more. Oh yeah, Black Excellence. Oh, you didn't know? Surprise. Alicia M.C. Coy, Garrett Morgan, and so more. I'm sorry I didn't say the name correctly, but guess what? If you're watching this video, it means that you have access to internet, so you can go Google all of those names and you're gonna see how great inventions black people have bring to this world for technology, for medicine, for education, for empowerment, and to this world to keep going and going and going. And without those inventions, we wouldn't be where we are. But I wonder why those black inventors are not praised and not celebrated. We continue. Subscribe for more. I know you want to, so just go ahead and subscribe. And also the thing I forgot to mention about our story, right? Did you know that us, like people of our skin color, run Europe? Oh, you didn't know? Learn about the Moors. Do you know they run Europe? Oh, you didn't know, huh? You're surprised. And you wonder why. Well, don't believe me. Do your own research. So yeah, we continue with our story. The Moors, they ruled Europe for years. Oh, you didn't know? And they didn't run Europe beating people up with pain, with aggressivity, with blood. No, they run Europe with intelligence, with mathematics, bringing medicine and bringing development. But you don't know about that because your favorite story teacher or your story books doesn't teach you about those things. But guess what? Don't listen to me. Do your own research. We continue. Now, let's talk about melanin. Woo! This right here. Damn. Power. Anywho, melanin. Melanin is a molecule, right? And melanin, we need melanin because it protects us from the damaging transmissions from the sun, which means the more melanin you have, the more you are protected. The descendants of African are high in melanin. We have a whole lot of melanin, as we should, and the other races have less melanin. There exist four type of there is different atoms, but there is four principal atoms, which are in the world, which is oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon. You can mix hydrogen with 2 oxygen and you're gonna have water. You can mix 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen together and you're gonna have hydroxy peroxide. You can mix nitrogen, but you cannot mix those 4 atoms to create something. However, whenever you add carbon, melanin, you create billions and trillions of molecules that did not exist. I'm going to say it again. There are 4 principal atoms in the world: nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. With those, the 3 first, you can mix them. You're going to have water, you're going to have hydrogen peroxide. But once you mix carbon with them, you create millions and trillions of new molecules that did not exist. Do you realize how powerful carbon is? Do you realize how powerful melanin is? So for somebody to come from somewhere and tell you that this is ugly, that this is dirty, that you should not love this, is that person okay? And if you are an African and you hate your skin color and you hate your hair, are you okay? So you are calling God stupid. You are calling God dumb because he created you, and I don't think God made imperfection. So why would you want to envy somebody else's skin color? Why will you hate this with this or hate this if this was created by the creator and whatever he created is perfect? But you are out here calling him dumb every time you think that this is ugly or this is ugly. We continue. Are you guys enjoying the video? Let me know in the comments. Melanin. And melanin, you even use melanin in computers. Didn't you know? You even use melanin in computers. That should tell you how powerful you are. You, African child, African king, African queen, that they use this, what comes from you naturally. They use it to make computers. Can you unlock your power? We continue. Melanin is even more powerful and more worthy than gold. Do you know that? Don't believe me. Do your own research. So if what is in you naturally is already powerful, where is the point of you doubting yourself, black child? What is the point of you not liking your body as you are naturally, black king or black queen? What is the point of you not liking your hair? What is the point of you trying to be like another race, behave like another race, act like another race? If your race is already powerful, if your race is worthy, if your race is perfect the way it is. I'm not going to blame slavery anymore. Well, I never did. I'm not into that victim mindset, because it's been a long time. Nobody is slaving you. Nobody is putting change on your hand to do you as a slave. But what? Slavery now is mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual. Do you know why? Because slavery is a choice nowadays. Do you know why? Because you are holding on to belief that don't serve you. You are doing things that you don't want to do, but you're going to do them just to please others or just to fit in. Then you are being a slave, because you are not in charge of your own mind, of your own thoughts. Somebody else is in charge of it. So you are a slave because you have the choice, but you don't take the choice because you don't want to take yourself accountable of your own life. Then slavery on your life is being a choice. But let's continue. The video is not over. Keep watching. We have 2 points left. The next one is belief system. Do you know why I'm going to put emphasis on the belief system? Because the belief system, if somebody controls your mind, that person controls your life. Because, for example, at the beginning I talk about how the oppressor, what the oppressor did to colonialism and slavery. So if the oppressor controls your mind for the rest of your life, the oppressor don't have to come to your house anymore. The oppressor can travel. The oppressor can even die. But if your mind is still ruling on the oppressor's belief, then you are a slave of the oppressor still. Do you know why? Because your belief system create the life that you are having right now. Your belief system create the life that you had in the past, and your belief system is creating the life you're going to have in the future. So whoever's controls your mind, whoever's controls your thoughts, whoever's controls your belief system, that person controls your life. I'm going to say a quote by George Orwell. Who controls the past, controls the future. Who controls the present, controls the past. I'm going to say it again. Who controls the past, controls the future. Who controls the present, controls the past. Which means, dear African, we are now in the present. If you are not in charge of your present, if you don't unlearn and relearn, you will remain a slave. You will remain thinking, feeling, believing that Africa is not good enough, that you as an African, you are worthless, you are useless, and you can accomplish nothing. If the past, it was okay, let's say the past is already gone. Can you change it? Nah. But you can remember the past, so you can correct, so you can change certain things. Because if you don't analyze the past, you are doomed to repeat the same mistake, the same stupidity, the same failures it happened in the past. So you want to do great in the present, make sure you control your past. And the moment you control your past, how your past were, you are already controlling how your future is going to be. Because you are in the present but in charge of the past. And by being in charge of the past, you are analyzing, learning, and knowing that, okay, this went this way because I did this or because I thought this. Let me do different. And the moment you did different or you think different or you behave different, you're going to receive different results in the future. Black kid, I hope you are listening and taking note. The belief system, right? Me, I always ask myself, the belief system that I personally have, who does my belief system beneficiating? Right? Who is it beneficiating that I see myself in a certain way? Who is it beneficiating that I think this way? Who is it beneficiating that I behave this way? That's what I do to myself, and I advise you to do the same thing. Sit down and ask yourself, who is it beneficiating that I hate my skin color as an African, that I hate my hair? Who is it beneficiating that I see another African as an enemy or somebody inferior? Because if you have beliefs that are not beneficiating you as a human being, you have to drop those beliefs. If you have belief that make you hate yourself, hate your culture, hate your origin, hate your country, hate your continent, you must drop those beliefs, because those beliefs are not serving you. And if you go around carrying beliefs that don't serve you, beliefs that put you down, beliefs that make you feel or believe or think that you are not good enough, you're going to remain in that state of mind. So do an exercise and analyze your belief system. And if somebody else is in charge of your belief system, that person is controlling you. As simple as that. Right? Because it's like the environment, right? Think about it. If you are born in a, let's say, in a Christian family, in a Judaist family, in a Muslim family, in a homophobic family, in a trans family, and a Christian family, whatever environment you are built into, you're going to become that environment. Do you know why? Because when we are kids, we are like a sponge. We absorb everything. We absorb the energy, the opinion, the behavior, the attitude of everyone around us. Because when we are kids, we are observers. We observe the beliefs, the thought, the energy, the attitude, the everything around us. We absorb it and we make it part of us. But as you grow, if you don't take time to analyze your belief system, to analyze your childhood, and to analyze the things, I don't think you're going to go far in life. Because at some point, you must sit down and ask yourself, okay, I was raised this way, but I don't think the way I was raised is positive, is healthy, is making me move forward with my life, or is making me enjoy my life or love myself and love others. Because if you don't analyze your childhood, which is in the past, you will not be able to control your present and you will not be able to control your future. So do yourself a favor and ask yourself, analyze your belief system. Because when you were a kid, and plus when you were a kid, you didn't have the critical thinking or the critical option to be like, oh, this is right or this is wrong. But as you are growing, you must ask yourself, you must question, what do you think is right? What do you think is wrong? Because if you question nothing, then you are the product of your childhood. And what is your childhood? The beliefs of your parents, the beliefs of your friends, the beliefs of your environment, of the country, of where you were raised. And if you want to remain in that state of mind of your childhood, you are missing out. You are missing out. Because whatever you were raised in, you couldn't question things. You couldn't have critical thinking. You couldn't analyze things. But as you are growing, it's your responsibility, it's your obligation to analyze your childhood, to analyze your behaviors, to analyze your belief system. Because what is the point of you hating your own self? Don't you ask yourself, why do you hate yourself? Or who put that beliefs into your head for you to hate yourself? Question things. And again, don't believe me. Do your own research. And also, because if you take time to analyze your belief system, or analyze your childhood, or analyze your past, you're going to be able to have a greater impact in your present, in your future. Because you will question things. You'll be like, okay, no, this doesn't resonate with me. No, this is false. Because also, one of the quotes of Thomas Showell, he said that certain things I believe not because they are true, but because they have been around, you have been listening to them repeatedly. Do you know why? Because you become whatever you are exposed to consistently. I'm going to say it again. Certain things I believe not because they are truth, not because there is evidence or there is facts, but they are believed because they have been around for years, or people have told you that for years, that you end up believing in. Because if I ask you, people are telling you, no, you ain't good enough. You're not going to succeed. You're going to remain poor your whole life. Nobody's going to love you. You are dumb. You can't do nothing. You bad at math. Look at you. You ugly. You worthless. Nobody will love you. You are stupid. You are dumb. If I tell you all of those things consistently for years, you are going to end up believing it. Do you know why? Because we become whatever we are exposed consistently. So if you want to change your life, change whatever you are exposed to. Change whatever you consume. Which means, and when I say consume, it goes with thoughts, food, people around us, energy. You become whatever you are exposed consistently. You become whatever you consume. So if the way you are right now, you are not happy with it, it's not what you want for yourself, simply change what you are consuming and expose yourself to new information, to new environment. Because a lot of things I believe, not because they are true, but because they have been around for years and years and years. And the same can apply with, you remember when I was talking earlier about representation, right? Let me give an example. We have Tarzan, Rambo, Superman, Batman, Rocky, Spider-Man, Santa Claus. All of those things are white male fantasy. Do you realize that? So if you as a black child, right, as a black king, because you are a king, you are in that fantasy, what would that make you think? You would think that, oh, so I can be a superhero because Batman doesn't look like me. Batman doesn't have my skin color. And we are in certain Africans are extremely praising white fantasy or trying to be part of the white fantasy or trying to change themselves to match the white fantasy. No. And again, representation. Those are the representation that is everywhere. But do you see about black superheroes everywhere? Do you see about black superheroes? Don't worry. I'm going to educate you about black superheroes. Keep watching the video. As I was saying, do you see why representation is important? Because, for example, let's say a black king or a black queen grows up only seeing white male fantasy. Do you question which type of psychological effect that can cause on the kid? That can make the kid believe or think that, oh, I have to look like the superhero. I have to have the color of the superhero. I have to behave as the superhero. Because me, I'm not represented as the superhero. The superhero doesn't have my skin, doesn't have my hair, so I'm not a superhero because I don't look like the fantasy that everybody is praising. Do you all see why representation is important? And I'm going to name you a black fantasy too, because why not? That is out there, but they are not praised in the comics. They are not praised in the mainstream media, right? They are not praised in the history books. Don't you question yourself why? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. Black superheroes, take note. Her strike to free the people of Congo. Amazing superhero. Badwin, African, Congo. Power Man, he's a superhero that helped in Nigerians with the literacy. Oh, you didn't know about to improve literacy. You didn't know about those superheroes? I'm not surprised. We have Vixen. We have Gentle. We have Icy superhero. We have Black Adam, which, by the way, Black Adam was from Egypt. Do you know that? Do your own research. Let's continue. Representation is important. But black child, I'm here I hope with this video, you will go do your own research and you will realize how powerful you are. And there is no need for you to try to change your skin color or change your hair. Embrace it. Now, one of the last points we talk about is the DNA. Yeah, because guess what? DNA is information. Because in the DNA of every black person, every African descendant, I'm going to tell you what is in your DNA in case you didn't know, black child. In your DNA, you have the descendant of Mansa Musa. Do you know who that was? A king that ruled and that conquered the world. You have his DNA on you. In your DNA, there is the DNA of the inventors of the hieroglyphics. You didn't know about that? It's okay. You can do your research. We are here to learn. Okay? We all learn. I'm learning. You are learning. Me too. I didn't know all of those stuff. But since I was curious and I went out of my way to find out about my story, about my culture, about my origins, I found all of this information. And you can do the same thing. Do not listen to me. Ignore me if you want. Ignore my information. But please, black child. Please, black queen, black king. Do your own research. Education is powerful. Ignorance is expensive. Get educated. We continue. In your DNA, there is the DNA you have the Moors who ruled Europe for years. In your DNA, there is the DNA of the greatest philosopher. For example, Pythagoras, he studied in Africa for 22 years. So where do you think he get all his knowledge, all his wisdom from? Africa. We continue. In your DNA, there is the DNA, the wisdom, the blood, the information, the characteristic, the strength of the builders of the pyramids. right? You see those pyramids, right, in Egypt. Whoa. Imagine that the people who created it are in your DNA. Do you see the power you have, black child? Do you see it now? Do you feel it now? We continue. The DNA is not just to tell you that, to remind you that you have been or your ancestors has been to slavery. No. In your DNA, there is information, there is power, there is knowledge, there is energy, there is strength. Because all of our ancestors, as I mentioned before, you have seen the greatest thing people that look like you and I have our type of hair has created. That should empower you. That should remind you of your descent, of your ancestry. That should remind you of the power that is within you, black child. But that power, you will not be able to feel it or to see it if you don't accept yourself as you are. If you don't accept your beauty, your origin, your languages. If you don't accept your skin color, your hair, you will not see it. Our ancestors make us forget all that part of the story, the slavery, the colonization. They make us forget to protect us. They burn our ancestors, but they forget that our ancestors were seeds, and seeds cannot be burned because you burn one, they multiply. Tachan. And then, but even though they make us forget to protect us, it is time for you to believe where you come from, black child. It is time for you to accept the power you have. It is time for you to accept, to act, to believe, to feel, to behave as the king, as the queen that you are, as the royalty that you are. Because black is powerful. Black is excellent. Black is the future. Black is the present. Black is the past. Black is life. Black is energy. Black is wisdom. Black is strength. Black is everything that exists and everything that does not exist. Black is the now. Black is the before. Black is the after. And I believe each generation has their objective in life. I feel like my generation, the current generation, our role, our obligation, our power, our purpose, the purpose of my generation is to find out the truth, speak on the truth, spread the truth about us, about origins. This is what I believe. I feel like is our purpose, the people of my generation. Because believe it or not, me, Christina, Ada, I'm going to become somebody else's ancestor. And you are going to become somebody else's ancestor too, black child. So which type of ancestor? What are you going to leave for the future black kings and queens that are coming? Because believe it or not, you are going to become an ancestor. And whatever you're going to die, whoever is going to come, the energy you're going to leave, that person is going to come and continue the path you have created. But if you create a path of lives, a path of negativity, a path of insecurities, a path of low self-esteem, that's the same thing you are leaving for the future generation. But I'm here to remind that black child, love yourself, accept yourself, believe the power that is within you, because you can achieve everything that you send your mind to. You don't need nothing because you have everything that you need within you. You have the knowledge of our ancestors. You have the skills of our ancestors. And right now, you can learn any type of skills that you want. So please, black child, get yourself together and remember who you are. The same way that all here in the black community, they only praise entertainers. They don't praise thinkers. They don't praise educators. But that's what we need, because education is power. Because education is a weapon that you can use to build and to build others. But educator that you need to know about, I'm going to give you some names so you can go and educate. Learn about Sister Ali, Sister Soldier, Dr. Francis. Learn about Dr. Joseph Herrick. Learn about Dr. Joseph. Learn about Professor Kaba. Learn about Ada, me, that I'm here making those videos. But please, black child, there is nothing to hate about yourself, because you are powerful, you are good enough the way you are. And we have to go to the past. We have to remember the past so we don't commit the same mistakes our ancestors made. So we don't go to the same pain, the same struggles our ancestors made. So please, let's use the past. Let's remember the past. Let's find out about our story. Do your own research. Know your ancestry. Know how powerful our continent is, was, and will continue to be. Black child, you are the now, You are the after and you are the before. This was it for the video. It was long, but again, don't believe me. Do your own research. Let me know in the comment which type of content you want me to create. What do you think about this video? You like it, you don't like it, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to tell you the things that I want to tell, not what you want to hear. I'm not a people pleaser, by the way. Comment, subscribe, and share to every single African, to every single black person. Because black child, you are powerful. Black child, you are amazing. Black child, you are magnificent. Black child, you are intelligent. Black child, you are energy. Black child, you are one of the greatest things ever. And our continent is forever and ever powerful in all aspects, in all areas. There is nothing that I can wish for. The only thing I can wish for is to be black. And I am black with proud and love. Thank you.